Chapter 1. The Mysterious Letter. It was a cold morning in a small town of Willow Creek. A young girl named Emily sat by her window, watching the rain fall gently on the rooftops. She had always loved the rain. It made everything feel peaceful and calm. But today, Emily felt different. Today, she felt excited. That morning, as Emily was walking home from school, she noticed something strange. In the corner of the old post office, a small envelope was lying on the ground. It was unlike any envelope she had ever seen. It was made of shiny gold paper, and the words on the front were written in sparkling silver letters. "The golden key awaits you." Curious, Emily picked it up and opened the envelope. Inside was a letter, written in a neat, elegant handwriting. "Dear Emily, you have been chosen for a special mission. A golden key has been hidden in Willow Creek, and you must find it. This key will unlock a great treasure that has been lost for many years. To find it, you must follow the clues and face the challenges ahead. Your first clue is hidden where the sun always shines, but only if you look closely. Good luck, and remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Yours truly, the keeper of the golden key." Emily's heart raced as she read the letter. What did it mean? What treasure was hidden? And who was the keeper of the golden key? She did not waste time thinking too long. She quickly packed a small bag with a flashlight, notebook, and a pencil. Then she ran out the door, eager to start her adventure. Emily did not know where to begin, but she had a feeling that the first clue was nearby. Chapter 2. The First Clue. Emily stood in the town square, looking around. Willow Creek, a small, quiet town, with only a few hundred people. There were not many places to hide a treasure. Still, Emily was not sure where the sun always shines. Part the clue meant. The sun did not shine all the time in Willow Creek. There were too many cloudy days. She decided to head towards the old park at the edge of town. The park was a place where she had spent many happy hours as a child. Maybe the clue was there. As she walked on the path, she noticed something strange. At the far end of the park, near the big oak tree, there was a small, golden object shining in the grass. Emily hurried over and bent down to pick it up. It was a small, golden compass. The compass had no directions on it, just a simple engraving. "Look for the light where shadows dance." Emily's eyes widened. Was this the next clue? She felt a surge of excitement. She quickly tucked the compass into her bag and started running again, determined to find the next clue. Chapter 3. The Shadow of the Lighthouse. Emily did not stop until she reached the edge of the town, where the old lighthouse stood. The lighthouse had been abandoned for many years, but it was still a beautiful sight. The tall, white tower stood against the bright sky, its red and white stripes catching the sunlight. Emily looked around. The clue mentioned, "Where shadows dance." As she stood near the lighthouse, she noticed how the shadows of the tall grass around her seemed to move as the wind blew. She wondered if that was what the clue meant. As she walked closer to the lighthouse, Emily noticed something strange. There, at the base of the lighthouse, was an old, weathered stone. It looked like it had been there for centuries. She knelt down and brushed the dirt away, revealing a small, hidden compartment in the stone. Inside, she found an old map marked with strange symbols. Emily could not believe her eyes. The map seemed to lead to the forest on the other side of town. There was no time to waste. She folded the map carefully and ran off towards the forest, ready for whatever came next. Chapter 4. Into the Forest. The forest near Willow Creek was thick and dark, full of towering trees and winding paths. Emily had always been a little afraid of the forest, but today she felt brave. She had a mission to complete. The map led her deep into the woods, past the twisted branches and the thick underbrush. Every now and then, Emily would stop to check the map, making sure she was heading in the right direction. She followed the winding paths, listening carefully to the sounds of the forest. After what felt like hours, she finally reached a clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood a large, moss-covered rock. Emily approached the rock, and to her surprise, she saw that there was an inscription carved into it, "Only the worthy shall pass." Emily did not know what to do. How was she supposed to prove that she was worthy? Just then she remembered something her grandmother had told her. The key to finding what you seek is in your heart, not your hands. Emily took a deep breath and closed her eyes. She thought about all the things that mattered most to her, her family, her friends, and the kindness she had always tried to show others. She knew that the golden key was not just about finding a treasure. It was about discovering who she was. With a feeling of peace in her heart, Emily stepped forward and placed her hand on the rock. To her amazement, the rock shifted, revealing a small passageway leading underground. Chapter 5. The Underground Chamber. Emily hesitated for a moment before entering the passage. The air was cool and damp, and the walls were lined with ancient carvings. She could barely see in the dim light, but she felt drawn forward. The tunnel seemed to go on forever, but finally, after what felt like an eternity, she arrived at a small underground chamber. In the center of the room stood an old wooden chest. It was covered in dust, but Emily could see that it was locked with a golden padlock. She knew this had to be it, the final destination. But how would she open the chest? As she examined the lock, she noticed something familiar. It was the golden compass she had found earlier. When she held the compass up to the padlock, the needle seemed to point directly at the center of the lock. Emily twisted the compass, and to her amazement, the padlock clicked open. With a sense of triumph, Emily opened the chest. Inside, she found a beautiful golden key glowing in the soft light of the chamber. The key was unlike anything she had ever seen. It was intricately designed, with swirls and patterns carved into the metal. She knew that this was the treasure she had been searching for. But there was one more thing inside the chest, a note. "Congratulations, Emily. You have completed your quest. The golden key is yours. But remember, the true treasure is not the key itself, but the journey you have taken and the lessons you have learned along the way." Emily smiled. She had found the golden key, but she had also discovered something even more valuable, the strength and courage within herself. And with that, Emily left the underground chamber, ready to return to Willow Creek, knowing that her adventure had only just begun. Chapter 6. The Return to Willow Creek. Emily stepped out of the underground chamber, the glowing golden key now safely tucked inside her bag. She took a deep breath and looked around. The forest was silent once more, as if it had been waiting for her to finish her mission. But there was one thing she could not stop thinking about. What was the golden key for? She turned back toward the town of Willow Creek. The map she had found had led her here, but it had not told her what to do with the key. The mysterious letter had said that the key would unlock a great treasure, but where was that treasure? Was it hidden in the town? Or perhaps, was it something even bigger? As Emily walked home, she could not shake the feeling that something important was still waiting for her. She decided to visit the town's library. Perhaps there, among the old books and dusty shelves, she could find more clues about the golden key. End of Chapter 7. The library's secrets. A library in Willow Creek was small but cozy. The scent of old books filled the air, and the sound of turning pages echoed through the quiet halls. Emily had always loved visiting the library, but today she had a different purpose. She needed answers. She went straight to the librarian, Mr. Oliver, a kind old man who always had stories to tell. "Mr. Oliver," Emily said, "I need your help. I found something amazing, and I think it has something to do with the history of Willow Creek." Mr. Oliver looked at her curiously, his glasses slipping down his nose. "What did you find, Emily?" Emily pulled out the golden key and showed it to him. "I found this key, and I think it is important. I need to know more about it." Mr. Oliver's eyes widened when he saw the key. This is the key," he whispered. "The key to the ancient treasure of Willow Creek." Emily was confused. "What treasure?" "Long ago," Mr. Oliver began, "there was a powerful family that lived in Willow Creek. The family was known for their wisdom and kindness. They created a treasure, a key to unlock the greatest knowledge and power of the land, but they hid it away so no one could misuse it. The golden key was said to be the key to this treasure." Emily's heart raced. "So, the key I found, it is real? It is the one that opens the treasure?" Mr. Oliver nodded. "But there is a catch. The treasure is not just gold or jewels. It is knowledge, knowledge that could change the world. A key will only work for someone who is worthy of such power. You must prove that you are ready for the responsibility." Emily's mind was spinning. She had already gone through so many challenges to find the key, but she had never imagined that the treasure was knowledge itself. She knew that she had to continue her journey, but now she understood that it was not just about finding the key. It was about what she would do with it. Chapter 8. The Trial of Wisdom. The next day, Emily set out on a new quest to prove that she was worthy of the golden key. She had to find the secret place where the treasure was hidden, a place that had been forgotten by everyone except the keeper of the golden key. Emily started by following the clues in the map. This time, the path led her to the old stone bridge that crossed over the Willow Creek River. The bridge was ancient, with moss growing on the stones, and the river flowing peacefully beneath it. As Emily crossed the bridge, she noticed a strange inscription on one of the stones. "Only those who seek with an open heart shall find the truth." Emily paused and thought for a moment. What did it mean to seek with an open heart? She realized that it meant not just looking for answers, but being willing to listen and learn. It meant being open to new ideas, even if they were difficult or unfamiliar. She walked further along the path, feeling more determined than ever. The journey had taught her many things already. She had learned to trust herself, to be brave in the face of the unknown, and to never give up. As she walked deeper into the forest, Emily noticed that the trees seemed to part, revealing a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a large stone monument covered in ancient runes. Emily approached it cautiously, her hand resting on the golden key. The runes seemed to glow faintly as Emily stepped closer. She placed the golden key into a small slot in the monument, and with a soft click, the monument opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading down into the earth. Chapter 9. The Final Challenge. Emily descended into the dark tunnel, her heart pounding with excitement. The air was thick with mystery, and she could barely see in the darkness. She pulled out the flashlight from her bag and illuminated the path ahead. The tunnel was long, but Emily could hear faint sounds echoing in the distance. It was not just the sound of her footsteps. There was something else, whispers, like voices calling to her from the shadows. As she walked deeper, the tunnel began to open up into a vast chamber. The chamber was filled with golden light, and at the far end of the room stood an altar, upon which lay an ancient book. Emily approached the altar, feeling a sense of reverence and awe. The book was old, its pages yellowed with age, but it was still in perfect condition. The title on the cover read, "The Book of Infinite Knowledge." Emily hesitated for a moment. This was it, the treasure she had been seeking, but she remembered the words of Mr. Oliver. The key, "We only work for someone who is worthy of such power." With a deep breath, Emily opened the book. The pages seemed to come alive as she read the first few words. The text was in an ancient language, but somehow Emily could understand it. It was a message about wisdom, responsibility, and the importance of using knowledge for good. As she read on, Emily realized that this was the treasure. The knowledge contained within these pages was the true power. But she also understood that it was a power that came with great responsibility. The knowledge would only be useful if it was used with care, compassion, and respect for others. Chapter 10. The True Treasure. Emily closed the book and looked around the chamber. The golden light faded, and the room grew quiet. The golden key had led her here, but it was not just the key that had made her worthy. It was her heart, her courage, and her desire to do good. With the book in her hands, Emily made her way back to Willow Creek. She knew that the knowledge she had discovered was not something to be kept secret. She would share it with others, teaching them the importance of wisdom, kindness, and responsibility. The treasure was not gold or jewels. It was the power to change the world, one small step at a time. And so, Emily returned home, knowing that her journey was far from over. She had found the golden key, but more importantly, she had discovered the true treasure within herself. The end for now.